The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. Join host Brent Radlinsky as he bellies up to the bar and gets the conversations going that'll make you think you're sitting in your local watering room. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so sit back, grab a few beers, and let's get in. The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP at checkout and save yourself $20 on your first purchase. Remember, we are part of that Belly Up Media Network. Go to BellyUpSports.com for all the great articles and other great podcasts, such as my next guest today from the Full Count Chaos podcast, Nathan Andrews. Talk a little bit of Baltimore Orioles baseball. We're just over a week away at the time of this recording through baseball getting going for real. And actually, I want to ask you a question before we get going on the Orioles and everything else. I asked a couple of guests earlier on this week what they thought of the two games being played over in Japan and whether they thought that was opening day or is opening day a week from now. What's your take, Nathan, on the two games that were played? I don't care the outcome, whatever, who cares? But is that opening day or is opening day a week from now? What's your take on that?
I always say that if the game, when it's over, if it counts as a regular season win or loss, it's opening day. Whether you appreciate where it's at or when it is or what time, it counts. It's someone's got to lose, someone's got to win. It's opening day.
It's true. Like you're out in the East Coast, so like 6 a.m. is doable. But out here where I am in Mountain Standard Time, it's 4 a.m. I mean, I'm a baseball dork through and through, but getting up at 4 a.m. to watch the Dodgers Cubs game 1 and 2, not a chance.
No, I don't agree with the time. I don't expect any. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't care how big of a fan you are. That's early. But I don't know the reason behind it, but yeah, I guess if it counts at the end of the day and it starts off the season, I guess it's opening day. I don't know. I wasn't up watching it.
I know some people were like maybe back in the day was like if I was maybe in Pacific time 3 a.m. I might stay up all night drinking beers or whatever and maybe catch the first few innings for you have a little nappy poo. But this morning I had a laugh first thing in the morning. There scrolling the old Twitter machine. And you put out a tweet. There was about basically golfers, how they have to get a tee and the crowd's got to be quiet. Don't say a bloody word. But in baseball, you get 50,000 people screaming your name. You got to hit a ball 95 miles an hour. And I try to figure that out. My wife, she always is marvels the game of baseball. How if you threw a baseball, it would go past a car on the interstate, right? And so I got a laugh this morning. And started my morning out quite nice. So I thank you very much, Nathan, for sending that out there. Is hitting a baseball, is that like I think it is because I'm a baseball guy. Is it the hardest thing to do in sport, you think, hitting a baseball?
It's got to be one of them because sometimes every now and then you see those fun highlights like some NBA superstar or some NFL player go out on the field and do batting practice with whatever team it is, and you can tell that they're just out of their comfort zone, and you can see they fall out, they fall down, they fall out of their shoes trying to hit a baseball. And in my opinion, and that's why I made that comment. I think it was Adam Jones, who used to play for the Orioles, said some tweet about, reminding people how difficult baseball is. And, I guess that's always anytime an argument I have of, how difficult baseball is. It's my example of, these guys, these professional golfers, if you go and watch them, if you sneeze, they want to kick you out, while they're swinging.
Well, Rory, he got all butthurt last weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Someone said something when he shanked one into the water or whatever it was.
It's amazing. It's incredible. But these guys, my example is you got a 94, cutter coming in on your hands. You got 50,000 fans cursing and yelling at you while you're trying to do it. At the same time, it's difficult to hit a baseball, curveball, slider, whatever it is. But you've got these fans yelling at you. I think baseball is one of the most difficult sports out there. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Because again, the example of you see professional athletes from other sports coming to try to hit a ball and they just look silly sometimes. It really is. It's comedy.
Yeah, I get a kick out of it because you fail 7 out of 10 times, you go to the Hall of Fame. No one can say that, right? So, yeah, it's funny the way that all works out.
Yeah.
Getting a little Orioles talk here, Nathan. They have a little I don't want to say a rough inning last year because you make the playoffs at 91-71. You make the playoffs, get kicked out pretty early, two games straight. See you later from Kansas City. Was that a thing of growing pains for the Orioles, or was that like, oh boy, this is what we are? Or when it was all said and done, were you a happy Orioles fan? Were you a little pissed off Orioles fan? Or where did it all sit back there in early October?
Yeah, I mean, definitely pissed off because the year before that they got swept. So back-to-back seasons, they make the playoffs and they get swept. Now, I was always saying on the podcast, these young kids, they're great. The rebuild, we're all happy. Woohoo, rebuild's over. But these guys are young. Now, no matter how young they are or what kind of team you have, you never want to see a team go back-to-back in the playoffs and get swept. So, yeah, bitter taste. Very upset about that. I don't think that's who they are, but I just don't think they had enough veterans on the team who've been there, done that. You know what I mean? It was like that kind of situation. You're counting on these young superstars to go, okay, guys, all right, go ahead, win it all. 20 years old, 21. So
yeah,
a lot to do with it.
It is a good thing. Experience is good, but eventually, and you hate to say this, but eventually you run out of chances because all of a sudden these contracts, especially with, and I hate to use the term small market when it comes to all these franchises, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
Or I like to say the unwillingness to spend is more of the than the small market.
Yes.
But you go, okay, well, how many more chances you got? Because winning's hard. And then getting the playoffs is hard, and it's a grind. And if you get one injury, one elbow away, and then who knows what could happen. And so you run out of these chances. And you're like, when do these young guys become old?
I know, and that's the difficult conversation to have. And when you go all in, I know a lot of fans go, no, don't go all in now. You kind of want to spread it out and win. And it's always like, guys, you make it seem like they have a choice whether okay, we're going to be really good for the next 5 years. You never know. So, you always want to strike when the iron's hot. I'm pretty optimistic, and I'm not drinking the orange Kool-Aid. I'm just, looking at stats. But seeing the Orioles go to the playoffs back-to-back years, of course, that's a great sign. And getting swept, not a good sign. But look, they're coming into the season, third best record on the road, fourth in runs, second in home runs, fifth in ERA. So it's there. It's just when they get to the damn playoffs, I just think a lot of it has to do with experience and these young kids, deer in headlights. Whether, a lot of fans want to admit that, no, they're professional ball players. You don't know what it's like. It's a different beast when you go to the playoffs. I'm sorry, it is. But now that these, the guys are getting older, more experienced, obviously they're angrier than they were last year. They got a chip on their shoulder, whatever. But yeah, I'm optimistic. I'm hoping
their
for
mountains of money,
big
chip
thing.
on their shoulder. I think they're okay. There's not a chip. It's just, it's that crying in their mountains of money. There's not a chip. They'll be okay. Like, it's fine. It's just you look at that Orioles team and they've been they're not that many years removed. Like people I don't want to say laugh at the Orioles, but they go through some stretches where they're not very good, and then they go through some stretches where they're good. And then they go to stretch where they're not, and it's just back and forth and back and forth. Like when they lost the playoffs to the Blue Jays a few years back, that's not that many years ago when it all went down. Who was that pitcher? What was that? Jimenez.
I don't want. I'm looking for my Tums right now. I'm getting
that whole debacle and that that's Oriole fans. Actually, let's bring up some. I like hearing because you go from like a Yankee perspective and you go from a Orioles perspective and a different perspective of how things go with it. Because I'm in Canada, so a Blue Jays perspective how that all turned out. I remember watching that game and being just mesmerized by that move with Jimenez. Take us back if you can remember. And I didn't mean to do this to you, Nathan. Like
no, it's okay. I have my
bad dude. We just met, but I just want to hear your take on that and how that all came about because it was quite the shock to my system watching that move being made.
Look, we had Buck Showalter, one of the best managers, and unfortunately, what's frustrating is how great Buck Showalter has been, and even before the Orioles and after. Yeah. You bring him up in a conversation with the Orioles, and that's like one of the first things that people brought up. Well, he shouldn't have brought in Ubaldo. It's just amazing how, poor Buck Showalter, one of the greatest managers, Orioles fan. But I again, this is why I still go to therapy once a month because of that game. And I don't know. Everyone thought you put in your best pitcher in the playoffs. It's a one and done game. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that was a one and done game.
It was.
You have Zach Britton, the best closer in baseball. And I guess, and I can't remember, maybe Buck did talk about it post game because by then I had the TV off and I was already doing something else. But maybe he was just playing for extra innings. I don't know, man. I mean, again, when you bump into an Oriole fan that you've never met and you talk Orioles, this is like the second or third thing that gets brought up to try to figure out what the hell was going on there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a rough one, man. And I think it was bases loaded when he came in, so that was even funnier. I don't know, man. That was a rough one.
I forgot that Britton was sitting around doing nothing at that point. I forgot about that. Like,
he was just sitting there stretching, getting ready. I think we all thought Britton was coming out.
I thought it was guaranteed. Personally, I thought it was guaranteed.
Okay, we go in extra innings, figure it out at that point, but just get to extra innings.
It's hard to win the old championship when you're not in it, right? It's one of those like, I thought ahead a little bit, thinking 3 or 4 innings down the road. Well, you don't have 3 or 4 innings. And then Showalter's been so great throughout his career. It's just
he's great. I feel so bad for him too because I think it's like, what is it? The Diamondbacks, he left and they win the World Series. The Yankees, he leaves and then the next year they win the World Series. Yeah. So
maybe it's you, man. Maybe
it's like when he left. The Orioles were all like, "Oh, maybe we'll win the World Series," but it's like, no, we're in rebuild mode now. That ain't gonna happen. But
it's the rebuild. Like when you hear about all the horror stories that go around. Because I do a show with a guy by the name of Aaron. He's an Orioles fan, but he's in Pennsylvania, and he's not as he's intertwined a little bit. But what are the horror stories like with the fan base? What were they like during the ownership and the stuff and the things and that was just nonstop when the negativity that was around the Orioles? There was a lot of people going to the building, and what was it like being an Orioles fan going through that stuff when you're like, Jesus, what the hell? Like
it's funny.
We're not that far removed from having a good team, and then we just go to this now.
Well, when you go through a rebuild, it's the weirdest thing because we all knew it was coming. We knew it had to be there from what we heard of why it needed to happen. So we're like, all right, the next few years, it's going to suck being an Orioles fan. But as a sports fan, you always have in the back of your mind, well, we're supposed to suck, but anything could happen. So you're still sitting there yelling at the TV, getting frustrated, being in bad moods, having a bad weekend, even though wait, this is what's supposed to happen. So it's kind of weird when people ask me who aren't Orioles fans, other fans, like, how is that? What's that like going through a rebuild? Oh, it's awful. It's terrible. Because it's like you're still in it 100% and you still want to win every damn game, but you have to keep reminding yourself, okay, we're in a rebuild. But it's almost like it doesn't matter because in the back of your mind, you're like, who cares? We're still supposed to win. Who cares? It was really weird. Some weird days being an Orioles fan.
In the illustrious 4.5-year history of the 1420 Sports Bar podcast, 4 beer sports talking a whole lot more. That's the best statement and the most honest statement I've ever heard. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to see your team lose, and you want to tune in, you want to watch the game, so you do because I've done it. You've done it, obviously, because you're stupid. So you're like, you know what? It's going to turn out okay. This is going to be fun. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Right. No, it's fine.
Oh, good. It's like that meme.
By 10 o'clock Eastern time, 8 o'clock Pacific, or Mountain time, you're like, son of a bitch.
Yep.
They did to me again today.
Yeah, and then my wife,
then 7 o'clock the next day, you do it all over again.
My wife's like, aren't they supposed to be bad? I'm just like, I don't need to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it. It was rough. But again, you're a diehard Orioles fan. You're there, of course, as they're good now. Here the stadium's filling up. Here come all the fans. The tickets go up. So we're being reminded what happens when you have a very good team with ticket prices, all that stuff. So
that's awful. Hey, when that your team does well, and then the people who go when you go let's just say if it won't happen this year, obviously, but Chicago White Sox lost 121 games last year. There were a few people who went. Just imagine that. But all of a sudden that they've turned things around. Let's say they go 81-81 this year. Are ticket prices going to go up next year? Like you still haven't done anything. Like we lost 121 games last year. Now you're telling me I got to pay $50 a pop to sit in the bleachers?
I would hope somebody in the marketing department would say, all right, we're still trying to get people in the seats. That would be some funny stuff right there if that was the case. Like, well, look, they've they jumped up 20 wins. Oh God. I know, man. I feel for the White Sox fans right now. I really do, because I know how they're feeling. Although I feel like they've been going through a rebuild for 15 years, but whatever.
Like for the Orioles to be jacking their prices, I mean, I get it. Like I don't get it, because if you jack your prices up, you're alienating a group of people who couldn't go before, or could go before. Now they can, and I think it's kind of a crappy move in my opinion.
It is a little gross. It is.
Like I know that like it's just obviously they're going to do it, and they have every right to do it. It doesn't make it right.
But it's crazy because people go. I mean, look at the example of, I don't mean to switch sports, but Super Bowl. Yeah. I mean, you see $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 seats, and you're like, who the hell's buying those? But they sell out. You know what I mean? So they know someone's always going to buy tickets, and that's why it's kind of slimy in a way. It's like what you're saying. It's an excellent point, but it's slimy because they're like, well, we're still going to jam the seats. So,
So just do it. It's free enterprise, right? So
right. Yeah.
Like with this Orioles team and what they got going on, like the young talent it's almost second to none. It's Rutschman, Henderson, and who knows what Holiday's going to do, and like it's second. Like you're right there.
Yeah. It's a big lineup. Like I'm really excited. Not only the lineup, but with the Orioles, the bench is better. I know a lot of people, they always want to talk about starters, but our bench is better than it was last year. So I kind of got to give hats off for that as well. But I mean, that's what these young guys are. I mean, they're just going to keep getting better and better, bigger and stronger and more powerful and smarter and wiser and more expensive. So that's why I'm like, this year, I felt like this last year. All right, they're more experienced, and then they go to the playoffs and get swept. Here I am again. All right. They're more experienced, right? So, but we're going on year 3, year 4 with some of these guys. So, it's cooking. It's cooking.
I think a lot of people who just think that being a professional athlete's easy. I think like the people don't. Yeah, they live a pretty good life, and flying first class or just charters and first like best hotels, everything else. But you're playing 162 games in 180 days or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and then you're flying in. The game gets done at say 10 o'clock Eastern time. You're not getting out of the park till midnight. Then you're on an airplane. You don't get in until 4 a.m. the next day. Then you got to meet. Like I think there's a lot of people don't realize like the grind that it is to be a professional baseball player, and it's a lot. And when you're coming out of college where you play 60 games or it might be, and only not just only on weekends, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you're like, oh man.
Yeah,
that's like 20 years old. Like 3 years ago, I was in high school playing 40 games a year. And then all of a sudden I'm playing 162, traveling all over the place.
Yep.
It's got to be, and to have, and like you said earlier, when we started first kick this off, to have that many young guys and not have anybody to groom you a little bit in the right way. I'm going to say groom.
Right.
It's got to be a tough transition for a lot of these guys.
And that's what we saw. A lot of these young superstars who April, May, June, just killing it. And then you see it. August, September, they're not used to the grind all year, and you kind of knew that was going to happen, but you see it, and that's why year after year after year, hopefully some of these guys, year 3, year 4, we're all obviously expecting big things, but yeah, you're right, you hit the nail on the head, man. It really is a shocker when they come up and handle the grind. That's why I can't believe Cal Ripken. I don't think that record will ever be broken. Ever.
No.
I still don't. I still can't comprehend how the hell he did that.
It's insane that you think about every day for how many years? For 2,800 plus games every single day, and just play. And now you look at the NBA. It's kind of funny. Like it's a different sport, but now they have load management. Could you imagine if somebody told Calvert like you have to sit today? And teams do it. Teams do it.
Yep.
Teams tell like the Yankees tell Aaron Judge, you're not playing. They have slated days off for guys.
Yep.
What?
Absolutely. I mean, they're worth so much money, obviously, but you're exactly right. I mean, I always think about that. Like you're telling me Nothing happened. Like when we're done here and I get up, I'm going to roll my ankle trying to get out of the chair, and I'm going to be down for 2 days. I'm like, it's just crazy. So, obviously when Cal Ripken gets brought up, the first thing I always say is you're never going to see that. Not only because of staying healthy, but because, like you're saying, these guys are worth too much money to want to push them that hard too. So,
it's
not saying Cal Ripken was making peanuts, but I just mean the money that these guys are making now. I don't think anyone.
Comparison. Yeah, you gotta protect the assets and everything else. Jackson Holiday. I'm not sure, and I don't know why. I'm not sure if he's going to be the guy. I'm not sure if he's going to be all he's cracked up to be. I'm not sure the number one pick, and baseball's probably the only sport where the number one pick isn't guaranteed to do a whole bunch because of the way it high school or college or however they get to that point. I'm not sold. Nathan, sell me on Jackson Holiday. Or is he a bargain bin, or what? Or is he a blue light special from the old Kmart days? Like, what do you think about Jackson Holiday?
Well, here's the thing, and obviously the cliche saying, the minor leagues and college baseball, it's night and day to majors, so you never know. But Jackson Holiday, the scouting report coming up all through, the minors, he's just a freak of the things that they're seeing, and we see flashes sometimes of the kid. The balls that he hits and how far it goes, and off the bat 112 miles per hour, and he was 19 years old. I mean, from last year to this year, he's just bulked up. He's faster. He seems like he's quicker. He's stronger. I understand. I mean, to sit here and try to convince you, no, he's gonna be the man. You watch. I kind of get where you're coming from, because if your average fan looks at the past couple seasons, I mean, why would someone want to sit here and listen to someone go, no, he's going to be the best? But I just think from, his younger years coming up, some flashes that we're seeing, the scouting reports that we have on him, you're seeing 19 years old, how he can bring his hands in and hit a 96 ball in on his knuckles, and it goes 422 feet. So, and that's when he's 19. So you just see things where you're like, this guy's he's going to be a freak, and he's great in the field. Try to convince you, that he's going to be a superstar number one. That's a great question.
Like, I got nothing against the kid. I know
it's a great question.
He just doesn't. There's something that just doesn't grab me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, you see Gunnar Henderson. Yeah, I get it. Adley, yeah, I get it. But maybe it's just he just looks.
Well, the kid was trick-or-treating like 4 years ago. You know what I mean?
There is that. There is that.
He definitely looks like he's 12. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah. So maybe it's just that. Maybe it's like he just doesn't look like
he's not energetic. He doesn't, even in interviews, he's soft-spoken. I get it. Look, a lot of people, when they look at superstars, no matter what sport it is, they always have in the back of their mind what they're kind of looking for. And I got to say, Jackson Holiday, when you just, maybe that's it. Maybe, just
maybe, yeah.
Maybe the way he is, his personality, his build, his look. He looks like he's 12. He still has those blush red cheeks.
Like, he looks like he could be still playing high school baseball or American Legion baseball.
Exactly. And right. I think a lot of nieces and nephews who watch sports are like, who's this little kid playing sports? It's just, I get it. It's a great question, but in my opinion, of someone like me, the Orioles fan, watching every day and seeing some of the stuff he does, sometimes you just you laugh and you just take a step back and you're like, damn, that was impressive. And you don't normally see that kind of stuff in a normal ball player, with the way he fields or the way he'll hit. Like, he's 19 and he just took that ball 462 feet. How the hell did he do that?
Yeah, so I guess you got to look past the maybe I need to watch the Orioles on the radio, and I won't have a preconceived notion of what he just because he looks a certain way, just listen to the game a little bit.
What I do?
Go to Corbin Burnes.
There we go.
Obviously, not having that kind of guy for the Orioles. What happened with that, and how? Like, did you ever have any hopes that he was going to sign with the Orioles long term? And he's topped how many pitchers in the league? I mean, that's a tough guy to swallow. But
Yeah.
But I mean, pitchers, I don't want to say they're a dime a dozen because everybody throws 100, but this guy's got a special arm. What was your thoughts on when did you ever have a hope that Burnes was going to stick around for a little bit? And then when he left, you were like, well, we had him for a year.
When Corbin Burnes came on, I think, I don't know if I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. When they brought him on, I was ecstatic, happy. It was a last minute thing. Kyle Bradish, our star pitcher, who again's hurt, not going to come back to probably May or whenever. They picked him up the last minute. It was almost like a, oh crap pickup. Mm-hmm. So when he came on board, of course, we're all celebrating, like, this is amazing. This is great. And then everything calmed down and we're kind of like, well, this is probably why they got him, because it was an emergency pickup. And I never thought, and I think it's just from being an Orioles fan and PTSD of knowing that, they're not big on signing players. So I always thought in the back of my mind after this year, and that's why we were so mad. A lot of fans all year were like, this is the only year you're going to see Corbin Burnes go all in. The trade deadline, Mike Elias didn't do anything. And we were furious because we knew this, the argument always started with, we're not going to see Corbin next year. So we all kind of knew this was going to be it. Now, the Orioles, they did give an offer, but from what it sounds like, and I don't know if it's because of his experience with the Orioles organization, or did him and Hyde get along? There are some rumors. I mean, you know how sports rumors start, whatever. But it sounded like no matter what, he wanted to go back to Arizona. That's where he wanted.
That's kind of what I read too, Nick. Yeah. It was like he was going back no matter what. So, but when he left, it was like, all right, we didn't get no problem.
We'll get those other pitchers out there, Max Fried, Blake Snell, who the other free agency guys.
Yeah.
So I think it stung more when, okay, Corbin left. Damn it, that stinks. But then he didn't make any moves. He picked up a few pitchers who seemed to be good, but I think that stung a little more. Like, bye-bye Corbin. All right, no problem. Who's the next big guy? Well, we're going to bring in like 3 pitchers who are pretty good. And the fans are like, oh. So it was a rough couple weeks.
That always makes me a bit crazy when it comes to owners and GMs and things. Okay, you offer this guy this much.
Yeah.
And then they say no, and then you go, well, that's it. We're done shopping.
Yeah.
Well, you like what? So
yeah.
You offered this guy 50 or 40 or 35 or whatever the offer was.
Mm-hmm.
The 1B guy in the free agent roster is sitting there, and they go, no, we didn't have that guy in our sights. We're just not going to. And so a lot of times, and I brought up a lot of times on this show, is talking about like the Vladdy Guerrero thing with the Jays, when he got offered, an exorbitant amount of money, but he said no, because he basically said, hey, you offered Ohtani 2 years ago $70 million. You offered Soto how much? And now you're offering me less than you offered those two? And I've been here the whole time?
Yeah.
And the Jays full well just did that. Full well knowing that those guys had no intentions of doing it. It was smoke and mirrors for the fan base.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, Vladdy says,
Yeah.
No. You're going to offer me what you offered those clowns. You offered those guys $1.4 billion.
Yeah.
And they had no intentions of coming. Here's what you're giving me.
Yeah.
I'm not taking no for an answer, because otherwise I'm leaving. And he called them on it. And I commend the guy. I mean, you don't want to call a guy greedy, but you know what? Good for him.
Good for him. Yeah. No, I agree. And a lot of these owners, it's like you said in the beginning of us talking about small market, but it's really what did you say? It's choosing not to spend.
Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of these guys do speak up, because they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't act like you can't spend it. Yeah, I was impressed by. It's also just a good dude. I hate to say this, but probably if he was an ass, I'd probably like, what a jerk. Can you believe that? But he's such a nice guy. I'm like, good for him.
Yeah. Good for him. He turned down $70 million a year or whatever, 700 million, whatever it was. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Right. Yeah. It was tough to see Corbin go. And what I also wish? I wish in baseball, because a lot of times you hear, again, rumors of like, why didn't they do anything? And then it's like, well, rumors are, Elias is saying that these teams are asking for too much. Oh, okay. It's like, I wish we really could see like some Excel spreadsheet of what were the other teams asking? Did you really go all in, or is that, so I've always been curious if that'll ever happen. Probably not, wishful thinking, but that would be nice.
It would be great to see what the actual offers were.
Yes.
What the trade deals were. And so,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Now
we heard a lot of
it might give some GM some reprieve.
Yep.
Okay.
I think
now I can forgive you for not making that deal. I get
because we hear a lot about with the lies, like, apparently they were asking for too many prospects, so he's not going to give all those away. Okay, well, I guess if that's the case, then I guess that's why he didn't trade for whatever. But yeah, if that came out and the fans could see, they go, what? Maybe you're right. Then they'd start making the moves, right?
Now we're going to prospects. Like it depends what kind of franchise you got, because sometimes a prospect is a 30th overall pick. All right, take it. I don't give a shit. Here, whatever.
Right.
Like if we're perpetually bad and we're trying to live on prospects, I can't give you the first, second, third overall pick every year. If you want the number 30, because I think after 10 in baseball, all right, sure, man, here you go. I know. Here you go.
I know. That's why you see, like, it's like the Manny Machado trade and all those guys back in the Orioles. You see, like, wait, we got like 16 players for him. How the hell did that happen? Well, these teams don't care after.
So, all right. Yeah. You can have our 48th
take
pick.
them.
Sure.
Right. We got Manny.
We're slated to not even play in our system. Yeah. Whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it. But it still stings a little bit. Having Corbin Burnes is a freak. I mean, going back to, talking about, he is a freak. He's just insane. He's crazy with pitching, how good he is. He is amazing. So, although I think towards the end, what was kind of funny, I think he forgot a lot about the two throw over rule.
Mm-hmm.
Because unfortunately, a lot of the opposing teams were stealing like crazy on us when he would pitch, because he would just throw over twice. Whatever. And then the guy would just take off. So every inning he pitched, if someone got on, it's like, all right, well, that was a little weird. But
the one guy who just keeps ticking and like Energizer Bunny keeps going and going and going. And you guys got him now, Charlie Morton. I've always loved him. Like he's been kicking around for a long time.
Oh my God!
I don't know if he's had a Tommy John surgery. I mean, everybody gets it. I don't know if how many he's had, but I love Charlie Morton. He's been kicking around.
Yeah,
and that's the kind of guy who will eat up innings.
Oh,
He'll get you 12 or 13 wins. Not that wins matter for starting pitchers anymore, but it's
right.
I quite like him. And like if the Yankees want to pick him up, I'd be like, eat up innings, go out, get some starts. He's not going to cause trouble. He probably doesn't even travel, sit with the team, having meals. He's like, I just pitch. Like, that's the only thing I've ever done. And he's just one of those guys. I think Charlie Morton's like the ultimate kind of a teammate, the ultimate guy for the Orioles.
He's a great guy to have. Yeah, and when you want to have
the kind of guy that you guys are looking for like the mature guy around the team a little bit.
That's exactly right.
I think Morton's an excellent pickup for you guys.
I think it's great. I'm very happy about it. And again, obviously, he's not the answer to all. It's not like when we got him, we're like, World Series, here we come. But at the same time, that's a veteran that you want in the clubhouse. And I think he's 59 years old or something crazy like that. But no, he's like 41. But yeah, it's so funny hearing about Charlie Morton, because I think he said like the past 4 seasons, he was thinking of retiring, but he kept that drive. He just kept going. He's like, nope, I'm going to keep going. But I'm happy with Charlie Morton. He's a good guy to have. And you're right. He'll eat innings. He's a veteran. He knows how to pitch. We're good. Yeah. Happy about that.
The thing about him, I like about him, he's not a thrower. He's a pitcher. Right.
Yeah.
You have so many throwers now and so you don't got to worry. And that maybe like the Tommy John thing, like I said earlier, you don't got to worry about him going for TJ surgery and then if he has it, that's it for his career, anyways. Right, but he's a pitcher. Like he's an old time pitcher. He works the plate a little bit, and I think that's an excellent move.
And I think you're right. I mean, Tommy John. It's like everybody throws hard now. It's like. It's almost like scouts won't really look at you unless you have that 97, 98 power.
Yeah.
And it's like these kids are 18 throwing 98 every pit. Like, why do you think everyone's getting Tommy John these days? It's crazy. It's,
I work in baseball, and I have a saying, it kind of pisses the coaches off a little bit. I said, nobody cares how hard you throw a ball for, man. I could care less how hard that kid throws. I don't care.
I'm going to use that. I like that.
Yeah, no one cares. Like, it's just right on. So you walk another guy. Yeah. 8 strikeouts, 9 walks, 3 hit batters, and 4 wild pitches. Right on.
Well, that's why I was excited about Charlie Morton. That you hit exactly. Yeah. He's a pitcher, and we have a lot of young guys who can throw hard. And Grayson Rodriguez hurt. Kyle Bradish throws hard, great. Hurt. It's just, it's getting frustrating. Garrett Cole.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
No, and that's fine. I get it. Like
the grenade and kind of threw it.
It's funny. Right, just boom, there goes my brain again. But it was funny. 2 weeks ago, I was talking with somebody. Hey, you're the Yankees, and then like first heel went down. You went and then you hear that. Well, I mean, geez. LeMay, he's 107 years old, so you're like, oh, well, I get it. And then Stanton, well, he's hurt. Well, he's always hurt. Tin Man. Okay, I get it. And then you're like, another one went down. And then the news broke last Saturday that Cole's out. You're like, oh no, this went sideways quick. And that's how fast it can go. But that's literally how fast it can go with baseball.
I mean, the Orioles are seeing it too. Yeah,
you're depending on one elbow, like one elbow.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, these guys also, I don't know. Look, you talk to guys like John Kruk. What did we do after the game? We smoked a pack of cigarettes, ate a bucket of chicken, and those guys were never hurt. I just feel like these days, these guys are just constantly working working their bodies, working. I don't know. Again, who am I to say this? But that can't be good, right? I mean, God damn, you talk to these players back in the 80s and 90s.
A lot of those guys, Nathan, like I was around some pro hockey players back in the day, back in like I said, the 80s and 90s there, and they used to smoke and drink like it was part of their job.
Right.
And you just and they were they were hurt, ice pack on their shoulder, but then they'd be in the club until whatever time, or sitting down at the bar having smokes and what, like it was just part of it. And then when it was the off season, they actually took an off season, and they weren't. Yeah. They weren't lifting weights. They weren't.
That's it right there.
They were golfing and doing things and whatever. Yes. They would put their muscles away, go to training camp. But now the money's so big, you got it. But I think Brent Redlinsky, I think it's backwards. I think like how these multi-million billionaires are giving these people money when they're always hurt. It's like, okay, what are we doing here? And then they're paying all of these trainers and athletic staff, and these guys are still getting hurt. And then all these pitchers are throwing weighted baseballs all the time, and they're doing this, and they're always hurt.
Right.
Always.
And you would think someone would finally step up and go, okay,
maybe
we've got a problem here. Yeah. We got to figure something out. But no, they just keep hiring more trainers, got to do this. All right, he's hurt, so he's got to do it's amazing. I don't know. Maybe someone will step in, because if the guys like you and I can sit here and discuss it and say there's a problem here, you would think, the guys who actually are involved would speak up. It's really odd. It's bizarre, man. It's really
why
bizarre.
Is this guy in the IL again?
What's that?
Because the human arm is not supposed to throw a baseball 103 miles an hour.
Absolutely not. Well, also these kids now, I mean, friends of mine, their kids, they start at the age of 5 playing baseball, and they year round. High school ball, college ball. I mean, come on. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. No, it's nuts. Like up here in Canada, it used to be guys would play hockey, and then when come March, April, you throw your hockey equipment somewhere, didn't even know where it was, you go play baseball.
Right.
And then in August you wouldn't do anything.
No.
You be a kid, and then hockey started September, October, and then here we go again.
It's
so you
rest. It's
just nonstop.
No, players, professional sports players, like rest. What is that? I don't know. I don't know what that means. It's awful. But yeah, I don't know.
When they get to the pros, when they get to the pros, well, we need to give you rest days. Yeah. But okay, whatever. When you're a kid, play 365 days a year.
Yeah,
and wonder why your elbow gave out. It's just nuts. It's nuts. Where are the Orioles gonna? Because I think the East, Boston's a lot better.
Boston's a lot better than people are giving them credit for.
I like it. just because of the rivalry might be back a little bit. I mean, it's whatever the rivalry.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Let me ask you something real quick. Now, I was just curious about this because, again, coming on here, I didn't realize, Yankees fan. How do you feel about losing Soto?
For $51 million, I was like, all right, see you later.
Okay.
It's a lot, man. Like, that's a lot of dough.
You don't miss his great defense out there?
No, I've said it to multiple people. I said, like, you can't give your second best or third best or fourth best player $51 million. That was my take, because he's not better than when Cole's out. He's not better than Judge. He's not better than Cole. Right. And so you're giving him $51 million.
That's a good take. No, yeah.
Like, just see you later. I didn't care.
You didn't lose sleep over it.
I actually didn't care. I'd rather have him on the team. Obviously, he's a hell of a hitter, but also on the other hand, right on, he walks a lot.
Sure,
like,
he does.
I just I don't get it. Like, I don't get the hype. I've never, and this is even before he decided to come to the Yankees, and even before he decided to leave the Yankees, I've never once turned on the TV in the different incarnations of Juan Soto, wherever he was playing, saying, I'm going to watch Juan Soto play baseball tonight. I could give a fiddler's toot about.
Well, I like hearing that. It's interesting coming from a Yankees fan.
Yeah, I just all right, man. Like, when you walk, you sure take ball 4 well, and with your little dance, I don't care. Like, I'm not being disgruntled Yankee guy. Like, I was
little dance.
All right, good. Because I know on base percentage means something and all that OPS,
sure,
blah blah. But I'm just like, okay, you don't play very good defense and you walk a lot.
He's already had some fun spring training highlights out there in the field, but
for $51 million, like, for a guy to go 1 for 4 some nights, and some nights he goes 2 for 5, which is good numbers, whatever.
Yeah,
but I just have trouble giving anyone that kind of money when you need pitchers to be more effective to give that money to. I was like, all right, good. I was shocked.
That's a great.
I was shocked at the number. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy to me.
It's a lot. That's a lot of moolah.
But in 3 years down the road or 4 years down the road, there's gonna be somebody else, right? And he was always going to whoever paid him, who was going to pay him the most. And I was like, all right, see ya. I mean, we lost with you. I guess we'll lose without you. It's whatever.
But to go around to your original statement, I kind of threw you off there. But the Red Sox, I agree with you. By the way, I think it's funny. Like, you see, Pacoda. They put out the Red Sox are actually going to be last in the AL East. I don't agree with that. Garrett Crochet, they got Bueller, Alex Bregman. Now that Rafael Devers, that little designated hitter dispute he had. But I think Red Sox are going to be pretty good this year.
I think they probably are right. They're going to be a problem, division, especially with the Yankees injury woes. I think they're really good. But I think Baltimore's actually better than people are. It's not a mess. It's not a mess like some. Well, they lost. You lost this guy, but you got to come out the gates a little bit. I think Baltimore's going to be fine. Like,
I do too. I do. But again, you're an average fan. You got to remember the Orioles used to be the punchline of baseball for a long time. So it's going to take them a while to kind of dig out of that a little bit, because I still think the Orioles are still known as the little brother. I mean, let's be honest. You talk to Yankees fan, Red Sox fan. They're not like, oh god, the Orioles. They're still considered the little brother. So they have a ways to go. They got many years to kind of kick in the door and be like, we're back. We're here. So it's going to take a little bit.
I'll ask you a question. The Baltimore Orioles, a successful season for the Baltimore Orioles is what?
World Series. I can't do that participation trophy stuff, and I don't mean to again.
I love it. Do it. Yeah,
right. I mean, it's just we know we can get to the play. Maybe in 2020, if you were asking me this question during the rebuild, successful, would be if they winning record. But no, they're a good team. They've been to the playoffs. They've done it 2 years in a row. They've got a good team. They've got let's go. Like, I'm not gonna, if they get in the second round of the playoffs and lose, I'm not gonna go, well, I'm very proud of these guys. I want a World Series, guys. So that answers that. So
that's the right answer. That's actually the right answer for a sports fan. You're supposed to want your team. Nobody pays money to watch your team lose.
No, that's it.
Yeah, here's $200 for a couple of tickets and a couple of beers, and it doesn't
Sure, take
matter.
my money. All right.
Yeah, I don't care.
What they lost, that's all good. I had a good time though. That's
Can you charge me more next time, please?
Right.
Oh,
right.
well.
I didn't pay enough. I want to.
They tried. Their uniforms got dirty.
That's what counts. Okay. They tried.
Can you charge me more for parking next time, too, please?
Right.
It's not nearly enough.
Oh,
if you charge me more, can you get better players next year? I'm here to help.
I'm here to help. Take my money. Do what you need to do to get this team
crazy.
better.
I've never been. I've been meaning to go to Camden Yards forever, like since it opened up in the 90s there. And it's just because it was the first of the incarnate, the old school ballparks. I've been meaning to go. And everybody my friends who have been there, they said it's absolutely unbelievable how great it is. Sure. What's the best part about Camden Yards?
I think, and again, it's funny you said that because, I remember years ago when they did make it, it was like, whoa, what the hell is this? And I remember a lot of stadiums that were built after that, they took the blueprint from Camden Yards to build. But it's kind of funny. I think a lot of stadiums are catching up because, believe it or not, the Orioles have the smallest jumbotron in baseball right now. But anyway, geez, I mean, look, you got Utah Street. When you go, it's just kind of like, it's almost like, what's the street? The Mardi Gras. What was that? Bourbon Street? Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, it's almost kind of like that in a way. You've got when you get to the end, you kind of curve around. You got live shows, bands playing, the food. If you bring kids, I will say it's extremely kid friendly. Like the first thing you see when you walk in, it's just like things for kids to do. They got, throwing machine and wiffle ball and, the playground and, there's the one thing about Camden Yards too, I've been to a lot of stadiums where it's like the Nationals. That's one of my examples because it's closest to here in Baltimore. It's like you're walking in a train tunnel when you're walking around the stadium and it's like nothing there. Camden Yards, I mean, you just got so much to walk around. You got the area of the statue garden out in the center field. That's really cool to see. So yeah, it is. It's got the right field where you're on Utah Street. You can stand out there on the flag court and kind of watch the game right there behind the wall standing. It's neat. It's a nice, cozy atmosphere. And also they've done something lately with the food menu. They've dropped the prices big time. I don't know if you saw that with the beer and the food and that was nice. The Orioles fans appreciated that, back to $4 beers, $2 hot dogs, stuff like that. So
Jesus.
Yeah, that was because World Series, what is it, like 35 a beer during the World Series or something like that? It's crazy.
I know, like even when I go to Toronto, even like you think when I go to games in the States there, I got to pay the exchange rate too. Like, holy Christ, what the Jesus is this? So, but even you go to a Jays game in Toronto, it's $19 for a can. Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, is it like if I go across the street outside, that thing's $2 when you buy a box of them. It's like, what the? All right, you just do it.
It's highway robbery.
I'm trying to help the team. So you guys can buy the free agents.
Take my money. Yeah.
Here, anything I can do to help. Yeah.
And also, and I don't know that there's maybe a small percentage of people who like this because even when I heard it, I'm like, wait a minute, what? That would kind of piss me off. In right field, it's called the Bird Bath. Anytime there's like a big play or a home run, there's there's a guy with a big hose and he turns around and he just squirts everybody in the section. So everyone's kind of like, woo, you almost kind of like bring your bathing suit. I don't know
how much I'd like that.
What's that?
I don't know how much I would like that.
I said the same thing and I almost felt like I sounded like a party pooper. Like, what do you mean? Come on.
Well, I don't care. I don't
know. I don't think I like
like when you okay, here it is. When you let's say when you were a kid or whatever, teenager, or partying with your buddies in your frat boy years or whatever, and you had your clothes on in the backyard, and your buddy was watering the lawn and sprayed you, you'd be pissed off.
You're pissed.
Because now your clothes are wet. So now what?
Yeah.
So now what? Like if you're at home and you put them in the dryer to go change your clothes, that's one thing. But you're in a freaking baseball.
You got 3.5 more hours to go.
Yeah, then I got to go home in this shit too.
Right.
No,
walk into the car.
I don't like that idea.
No,
it's a bad idea.
I haven't been there. Of course, the people that I've known who've gone there, they're like, yeah, it's kind of neat. It's kind of fun. Whatever. So
they were probably sitting four sections away and weren't part of it. They were watching it.
If it's a windy day, right? Yeah. You got to.
I'm wet and cold too. Right on. Thanks.
Right. Yeah. You're walking home angry, but there's that. I mean, I figured it's not people who are not Orioles fans or like going to games, when they hear that, it's the same reaction. Wait, what? That would piss me off. So, but I think, look, everybody who I know who has gone to Camden Yards, who's not from around here, they've all said the same thing. We loved it. It was great. So, how many stadiums you been to? Have you made it
20? Yeah, probably 20. I've been to some that aren't even around anymore. That's I'm old, right? But yeah, okay. So, the Tiger Stadium, and I was there in '87. So yeah, they're probably 20, I think. Yeah, when I said it's I love it. It's just
well, if you ever do go, give me a heads up first, because every week there's always some new deal at some new bar. $2 beers. I'll give you a heads up. But yeah, beautiful. I think you'd like it. It's a good time.
I was talking to a guy in Seattle last night that they've all, you go to a game sometimes and you're having a good time and you're whatever, and something happens on a Tuesday that you were there for. It doesn't mean to anybody that some moment that might happen that means a lot to you. Have you ever been to an Orioles game that probably 95% of the people in the building, or else they or a game that was non-consequential, didn't matter to people watching on TV or whatever it might have been? What's your Nathan? What's the full count chaos thumb of approval game that you went to that one's mine? That's one of those ones. I'm glad I was there.
Yeah, I always remember this, and I don't think I've ever. I talk about this all the time on my podcast. I always, I had one segment where I said, write in if you ever cried because of sports, whether happy or sad. And it was amazing how many people have, but I haven't gotten to that point where I've actually teared up, whether it was bad, sad, or happy. I almost at this time, it was 2012, and the Orioles from 98 all the way to 2000, they stunk. I mean, you knew that. Mm-hmm. I don't have to remind you that. Well, Buck Showalter came on board. You start seeing the Orioles do well. It was, I think, in September. The Yankees were in town. And I can almost remember the day. I think it's September 9th or 10th. And it was the first home game. It was sold out. The Orioles are doing well. They're fighting the Yankees for the division. And it was new to us. We're like, holy hell, this is happening. The Orioles might make the playoffs. The Yankees tied up the Orioles. The Orioles were up 6-1. And the damn Yankees tied up the game 6-6 in the 8th inning. And we're all thinking the same thing. Here we go again. We just can't beat them. Well, in that inning, Adam Jones started off with a home run. Mark Reynolds hit a home run. Chris Davis hit a home run. And I've never in all the years going to Oriole games ever felt, I was front row right there at first baseline. I've never hugged so many grown men I've never met before. I've never felt that stadium just erupt. I've never been that excited. And I know it was just a regular season game. But when you're like, I've been waiting for this for 12 to 15 years of the Orioles to finally be here. And I don't know. It's just something about that. It's funny. I still see on Twitter or X, whatever. People, Orioles fans, retweet that actual highlight game. So I know I wasn't the only one who was experiencing that moment. And for some reason, I don't know what it was. I was almost on the edge of tears of how happy everyone is. It was a crazy moment. So that right there, I just remember, I couldn't even sleep that night. It was amazing.
That's awesome. I love it.
It was just a great feeling. And I'm the only other one that I can say that I wasn't there. It was Delman Young in the playoffs in 2014 when he cleared the bases. But talking about a game when you're actually there, that was something that hit me. It was fun.
You get those. You're saying everybody. This is an aside to that. You say that how many people retweet that and we're there. It's funny how a place that seats 40,000, there are probably 740,000 people there. Because everybody said they were there, right? Because I was in Oakland in 2014 for the Jeter World Tour retirement tour, and I was sitting next to a reporter from the one of the Oakland newspapers there, and this guy was old. This guy was old, and he was taking pictures as the game was going on. I was asking him about different things that happened. He says one of his favorite games that he was at was Catfish Hunter's perfect game back in 74, 75.
Yeah, right.
And he said, he goes, there was 1,000,003 people here. I said, what? And he kind of got me, and he got my attention.
Sure.
He goes, because everybody I've ever talked to said they were at that game.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, I get it now. I get it. It was,
yeah.
And this guy was 70 in his mid 70s. He was like an old reporter. And I was like, okay, funny. I get it. It was funny, but yeah. So it's funny how those stories.
Right when he first tells you, you're like, wait, what?
Like, not everybody could have been there. Yeah, it's just funny.
That's too good. That's too good. Yeah.
You had another one?
I'm trying to think. Did I have another one? That one stands out the most. I think again, it was. Let me see if there's another one that's standing out. I don't think you caught me off guard. I think usually when I get asked that question, which I do all the time, believe it or not, that is the first thing, and I think that's why I was lock and loaded for that one. Yeah. But if you think, was there another one? Like, yeah, I mean, there are some good moments.
But the one's the one. Yeah, that's just.
Yeah, that was the one for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
well,
that was what I mean. Being a Yankees fan, obviously, I assume you've been to quite some Yankee games. Anyone like if I ask you the question, boom. What's
my favorite? I said a show the other night. My favorite time at Yankee Stadium. I wasn't actually in the building.
Okay,
it was raining like a bastard, so I left.
Okay,
I went across the street. 2015. Went across through the Yankee Tavern, and. Place was packed because it was raining like a bastard, right? It was a Friday night playing Boston, and basically the Yankees were down early. It was 6-0 early, and they came back, and it was 6-4. Teixeira was up, 2 guys on, and he hit a home run. And I said right before Teixeira hit it, I said to the bartender, I said, Mike, if Tex ties into one, they're gonna win this thing. Sure as shit, boom. Home run, and the place just went bananas, right? And then instantly somebody put on New York on the jukebox.
Oh,
there's actually a jukebox in there, right?
Oh, boy.
So it was just one of the, and that's my favorite Yankee Stadium moment. And I wasn't even in the park. I was across the street, just around the block, right? So that's my favorite. That one's mine.
I'm also shaking my head because when you Teixeira, it's just, I get shivers. That guy, boy, was he an Orioles just a bully, just a bully. Yeah.
No, he was good. Favorite Oriole of all time? That's not Ripken.
You know what? Speaking of Chris Davis, I know this may not be maybe an unpopular vote, but I got to say I think Chris Davis, and Adam Jones. I think they, but from the thing. Look, Chris Davis was just a wonderful guy. The stuff that he did for the community and the city and blah 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 blah. But everybody, when you're a baseball fan, I don't care who you are, home runs are sexy. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Everybody loves I know there's a million stats out there of, true offensive play. I don't care. If you're big, strong, and you hit home runs, it's awesome to watch. I mean, for F's sake, I mean, the guy that was 53 home runs in 2012. But I don't know. I just from 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, going up right before, his Adderall issue. And then he just completely crapped the bed. But he was just one of the most electric players to watch. I mean, when he came up to bat, everyone just stopped what they were doing to watch. And, 9 times out of 10, he was hitting it 485 feet. So I don't know. He was so nice, too. Like where I used to sit, family had season tickets and right next to the dugout, like the first seat.
Yeah.
And he was always the one player, like if he was walking towards the end, whatever, to get something to drink or grab his glove, if you just randomly looked at him and if you guys made eye contact with him and you said so, he would stop and talk. He would just talk. And, you kind of would find out what he likes and what he does after, when he's not playing baseball, and you kind of be sneaky about it and ask him about it. But he would talk. And, most other players, they just pretend you're not there. But, man, he would just stand there and talk and laugh and act like, you're his buddy. And I think that's also why, when people ask me this question, Chris Davis is one of the first names that comes up.
That's great.
But, yeah, I mean, he was just a hell of a player when he was good. But, boy, you talk about a player just crashing.
Yeah, he disappeared rather quickly. Like it
was so sad,
issues, obviously, and everything. But it's just
really sad.
But he was great. Like just crushed the ball. Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm surprised he never hit the warehouse though. Left-hander and, but yeah. So I'm going to go Chris Davis because, sometimes, again, an electric player on top of being just a really cool guy. I'm going to go with him. But, probably second place Adam Jones because same thing. He always talked to fans and he was a great player. But
and it's so easy to talk because you're in the batters, you're in the on deck circle, and the fans are right there. Just say something. Like, don't be a douche nozzle. Just say something.
You don't have to talk.
You don't be their best friend. You don't have to be anything. Just say hi.
Just say hi. Turn around and say hi.
How's it going? You enjoying the game?
That's all they want.
Whatever it is.
And I bet those fans will think you're the great. What'd he say? What'd he say? Well, he just said hi. But it doesn't matter because you acknowledged them.
Yeah. Don't be cool and hard. Yeah, just say hi. It's not hard. How's it going? Thanks for paying my salary.
Right. We're your boss. Right.
I appreciate you.
That's all. Right. That's what players should start doing. They just turn. Like, have you noticed? Like, all the players are telling people they appreciate them. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Yeah. Thank you for paying my salary.
Every player in the major league said, I heard it on the podcast that we should say, I appreciate you.
Right. Yeah. There it is.
And then maybe they should give us a cut in that pay. We'll market that.
But that's so true.
Nathan said that they should say they appreciate you.
That's it. It takes 2 seconds to acknowledge someone.
That's all it is.
It's great.
Nathan, this is a lot of fun, man. I quite enjoy talking baseball. People I've been talking because it's so. Like when you talk to baseball fans, it's so universal. Like you can get down to the nuts and bolts of things, and it's just, and not talking stats, but moments and things, and everybody that I love it. Like it's so simple and easy, and you talk to a Padres fan one day, a Mariners fan another day, a Orioles fan the next day, and everybody has the same. Not the same stories, but the same stories, and it's baseball is so great. What is that? What one of the things you just love about it?
Absolutely, 100%. And you know what I'm enjoying when I walk away from this? I'm sure my wife's gonna go, "How go?" I'll go, "I loved it." You know why? Because he didn't want to just sit down and go, "Well, let's talk about the OPS percentage above." We're just talking moments. We're talking baseball, and that's what I love, man. That's what I love. Of just fun moments that give you goosebumps. Talking about the past, talking about what might be the future.
Yeah.
So I just love it. You hit the nail on the head with that, breaking it down like that.
It's because everybody's the guys talked to last night in Seattle. Because everybody's played baseball in one form or another, whether it's in T-ball or mixed full pitch or and everybody's made a play, right? A kickball or whatever. Everybody's played baseball in some way, shape, or form, and you made that play. So it's just a lot of fun.
No doubt about it.
I love it, man.
No doubt about it.
And we're a week away. Getting into
week away, man.
Who's winning the World Series?
Dodgers.
Yeah.
How can you vote against them?
Yeah,
it's like the Dallas Cowboys of the 90s. Like, I mean, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Chances are.
I think it's going to be Dodgers and Boston. Call me crazy. And that's good night, folks. Good night, everybody.
Tip your server. Have a good night. Yeah.
I don't know.
Happened in 2018, so it could happen again. Yeah. I think Boston's really good.
Well, who do you think?
They're going to, and I think you're at that point. If they're really good, they'll dip into the pockets and go and find that guy at the deadline, right?
Oh, at the 100%. If Boston's right there at the deadline, there's no doubt about it that they're going to make a move. But who do you have? Who do you got going in the World Series?
Dodgers. And I actually, for some reason, I think, you know what? I think the Seattle Mariners are really good.
Oh, that's a sexy pick.
They can pitch it, and they got Rodriguez eventually. If not, I think they're one of those teams. If not now, then when? Like it's
right, sure.
Because I think they're kind of the same way. The Orioles are. The Orioles are a year away, but the Mariners pitch it better than the Orioles do.
Well, sure, I agree with that. Yeah,
I just think a little deeper, but I have a real, and I don't have, because I don't know if the West is that strong, so I think that the Mariners will get in there and do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, I don't think anyone over there is getting in their way. Where it's like, God dang it, if we could just get them and them out of the way. That's an interesting one right there. Dodgers versus Seattle. Wonder what kind of money that World Series would bring in.
It wouldn't get to 8 eyeballs on the East Coast watching it.
That's true.
Hey, there's a really sexy. There's got to be a college football Division III game on somewhere, right? Oh,
right.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fox Rivers got the World Series this year. It's like, oh God.
Right. Let's see what poker tournament's on right now. Right.
Yeah. This went sideways quick for us. Anyways, Nate, this is a lot of fun, man. I enjoy it. We'll do it again.
Absolutely.
Season goes on, everything else. But tell everybody where we can hear your stuff and
man,
what's going on.
Full Count Chaos. Head over to X at Full Count Chaos if you want to, check out, subscribe, prior episodes. FullCountChaos.com. Basically, you know how it is. You just Google Full Count Chaos, and there it is. But again, I can't thank you enough for having me on. This was a lot of fun. Usually a lot of times I'll say, this is a lot of fun. And I walk away and I'm like, God damn. No, this is, I can't believe we've been going an hour. I see the little ticket.
Yeah, no.
And I'm like, no way. It's been an hour. So yeah, it's been fun.
I wasn't even trying to delay going to the inevitable to see my mother-in-law upstairs. This hour went away. It was like, hey, this is nice, man. It's good. No, it's talking baseball. It's so easy and smooth. And
oh God,
when you get guys who do it,
beautiful.
They're not trying to fake it. No, it's great. So
yeah,
I appreciate it a lot, and we'll do it again when the season gets going. And
absolutely,
a lot of fun. Okay,
no doubt about it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 Beer Sports, talking a whole lot more. This show is brought to you by SeatGeek.com and SeatGeek app. Use promo code BELLYUP and save yourself $20 your first purchase. And remember, it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. Have a great night, folks. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.